Hey guys, welcome back. So I think Narcissa Malfoy is awesome. I know she's the bad guy mom and made a few threats to Harry in the earlier books, but she really is a terrific character. And if you ask me, rivals Molly Weasley for the ultimate mother title. Sorry Molly. She's a very underrated character, and I do be pleasantly surprised when I make a video on her and it gets a lot of views. Something I want to look at going forward is key moments for certain characters in the books, and Narcissa is first of the series. So let's take a look at the very moment she knew she had to betray Voldemort, and we'll analyse the contributing factors. So let's continue the video. Before the video begins, I'd just like to highlight for those of you who may want to check out my personal life, which does include Harry Potter stuff, that I do have an Instagram where I post lots of photos that you can view. It's also the best way to contact me if you have a question or even a video idea. I may not reply immediately, but I'll try my best to get back to you all. You can check it out from the link in the description below. Enjoy the video. Welcome back guys. So just a moment ago I was talking about how underrated Narcissa Malfoy is, and despite her bad guy placement in the books, she's actually one of the greatest mothers to read about, as there's several examples of her love for her son Draco throughout the story. I've always felt that Narcissa played her part really well. She never gave herself away and always held her own. Narcissa wasn't a Death Eater, as many of you may already know, but she was included in Voldemort's inner circle. Now I've always wondered why that was, if I'm honest, because the Dark Lord was very particular on who he let in. My best guess would be to think that it would give him even more leverage over Lucius should he ever betray him. And Narcissa, being pureblood, was the kind of company Voldemort wanted to have around, even if she wasn't a full Death Eater. If we actually take that point for a moment of her not being an actual Death Eater, I think it was the position she preferred. She was never heavily invested in the lifestyle, but she supported her husband's endeavours. I think she wouldn't swear a lifetime of servitude to the Dark Lord because that oath belonged to her son Draco. I can't imagine that Narcissa ever believed she'd one day be in a position to betray Voldemort, or even want to, as Lucius was such a high-ranking Death Eater. He was the Dark Lord's number 2, his second in command. Lucius even tried to mount a challenge on the Ministry after Voldemort went missing. He failed and then claimed he was under the Imperius Curse, as we all know. Anyway, my point is that Lucius had known no suffering or hard times under his master originally. Everything was great, they were winning and would have been victorious until Voldemort disembodied himself for 13 years. However, on his return it was a completely different story. He was already furious at Lucius for allowing the diary to fall into the wrong hands in the first place. He openly stated his anger at the fact nobody tried to look for him despite the obvious signs. Despite his pleas of innocence, Lucius had grown accustomed to his influential role within the Ministry and the educational system. He still upheld his beliefs but had actually given up on Voldemort's return, and Voldemort knew that. Voldemort is no idiot. He knows full well that Lucius just didn't bother look for him, so he gets a reprieve by being the lead for the mission to retrieve the prophecy. He not only failed to get the prophecy, but he was actually responsible for it being destroyed. He then got arrested, was thrown into Azkaban, and the Malfoy name was tarnished by the Daily Prophet, with Lucius' picture spread all over it as a convicted Death Eater. So, seeing her husband's fall from grace gets under Narcissa's skin. She feels like he was made a scapegoat, a fall guy, and this is where she really starts to become involved. Voldemort wanted to leave Lucius in Azkaban to rot for his failures, and only for Severus Snape's intervention would have ended up staying there. Narcissa has never been in this situation before. It was always good times for her husband, as I said, and now he was bottom of the barrel. In addition to that, the worst was yet to come. In an effort to further punish Lucius, Voldemort set Draco the seemingly incompletable task of assassinating Albus Dumbledore, something the Dark Lord knew he would fail. This is when Narcissa needed to act, and act she did, but it is not her moment of betrayal. She wanted to help keep Draco safe, and she did that with the Unbreakable Vow, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. You can check out my full video on the Unbreakable Vow in the description section below. Anyway, Narcissa watched as Lucius was continuously humiliated at the earliest chance Voldemort got. The Dark Lord loved making Lucius appear worthless, and it really did show how cruel and callous he was. Not to say that Lucius didn't deserve much of it. This wasn't the man that inspired her husband to fight so many years ago. It made her realise that her loyalty to Voldemort was only from her devotion to her husband. It made her despise him and lose interest in his goal for glory. However, it was quite clear that the Dark Lord wasn't going to just go away. Narcissa knew how strong he was, and she never questioned his power. It appears evident that Lucius would have told her about his immortality, and that was why they needed to follow someone who can't die, who can't be killed. It became clear to her that if there was a chance to weaken him, she'd take it. That moment finally came the night in the Dark Forest, when Harry survived the killing curse for the second time. Knowing that the boy resisted such a spell once again made her realise that Harry had a real chance to defeat him. She was also desperate for information on Draco's safety. She knew it was time to inflict her own blow for everything that her husband and son had been put through. By covering for Harry and informing on his death, in addition to Harry remaining still for the entire duration of the Cruciatus curse, which was incredible, Narcissa delivered a monumental assist to the boy in his fight against the Dark Lord. Harry's return from death in the courtyard frightened the Death Eaters and Voldemort himself, while spurring on the Hogwarts resistance to fight with every part of them. Harry also gained some respect for her taking such a stand against a person that would have surely killed her and her family. Don't forget, Voldemort was still immortal and extremely powerful at this time. He wasn't defeated, the battle was still going. Narcissa knew she had to go against even what would be her own husband's objections. Together, the three of them walked away from the battle while it was still in full swing and ended up escaping punishment too. I think each character has one big moment in the series. Obviously, Harry had a few, but for the likes of Narcissa, it was her big moment and she took it while making a massive difference. Anyway guys, that was my video on the moment Narcissa Malfoy knew she had to betray Lord Voldemort. I want to know what other character's big moment you want to see in the comment section below. Thanks again for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. Everyone, notifications of uploads are more important than ever. So please, if you haven't already, turn those notifications on to make sure you're notified the moment my video goes live. Making videos is what I love to do. It's my dream and my passion. However, it does cost time and money to produce this content. So if you have $1 to spare to support me on Patreon in exchange for some exclusive unseen content, then you can click the Patreon link below or at the end of this video. Please only support me if you can afford it. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at InstaDNJ and on Twitter at PotterFolklore. Check out my other videos appearing on screen, and please make sure, most importantly, to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again everyone, and please have a great day.